Chapter 117. Elemental Infant Beta. Who is this? What a powerful domineering intent. Which Yuanying stage powerhouse is this? When did our Yun family have such a Yuanying stage powerhouse? Some of the Yun family's children secretly trembled. What a powerful hegemonic intent. This son's intent has actually reached the 20% realm. It's really not to be underestimated. Some of the older Yun family powerhouses who knew about Kangchon were shocked. It's big brother Kangchon. He's broken through the 9 revolutions realm. The Yun family sisters were talking in their boudoir when they were suddenly suppressed by the sudden pressure coming from the sky, and under their shock, they immediately guessed that it was Kangchon. 9 revolutions realm. Amongst the 4 masters of the imperial capital, there are only 3 who have reached it, and now another one has been added. In the middle of the Yun family's hall, a middle-aged man sighed. He was the Yun family's family head, Yun Baishan. Next to Yun Baishan, Uncle Ma was also in awe. This son can form the 9 revolutions golden Dan at any time now. I wonder what kind of strength he will reach after forming the Dan. Really looking forward to it. Alright, hurry up and go and guard him. Don't let other people disturb his breakthrough. After he breaks through, bring him back to see me. Yun Baishan waved his hand and said. Uncle Ma nodded and then dashed towards the courtyard where Kangchon was. At this moment, everyone in the Cloud Mansion was startled by the commotion of Kangchon's breakthrough. And one by one, they swarmed towards Kangchon's courtyard. However, it was fortunate that Uncle Ma arrived in time and ordered them to stay away. The crowd suddenly had no choice but to watch from afar. So it's the Overlord. No wonder it's so powerful. I heard that this time our Yun family was able to capture the water spirit fruit thanks to the Overlord. I think it must be the Overlord who has broken through to the 9th transformation realm with the help of the water spirit fruit. This time we have the blessing of seeing a 9th transformation golden pill being born with our own eyes. Ha! This is the 4th 9 revolutions golden Dan in the great Tang cultivation realm. I wonder who's more powerful between him and those 3 of the imperial capital 4. Hee. We won't know until the Heavenly Dao Sect's disciple acceptance ceremony begins. The crowd of Yun family children were talking. After Uncle Ma appeared, Kangchon's identity was naturally exposed instantly. In fact, Kangchon didn't hide his figure when he entered the Cloud family. So many of the Cloud family's children knew that he was a guest in the Cloud family. And if it wasn't for the strict orders from the Cloud family's head of household, they would have long wanted to come and pay a visit. After all, many of the Yun family's young children regarded Kangchon as an idol to worship. As the crowd gathered outside Kangchon's small courtyard, the aura on Kangchon's body inside grew stronger and stronger, as well as the unrivaled hegemonic intent, which even caused the Yun family's children, watching from afar, to tremble in fear. Roar! Kangchon stood in the courtyard, his entire body shrouded in golden light, as if his entire body had transformed into a golden god of war that was roaring towards the sky. The energy contained in the wall-breaking pill was extremely powerful, and coupled with the fact that he had stepped into the 9 revolutions realm once, Kangchon felt that the energy in his body was endless, as if his entire body was filled with inexhaustible power. This overwhelming feeling made him unable to help but roar up to the sky, constantly releasing his powerful strength. After about half an hour, the heavens finally stopped roaring, and the golden light that enveloped his body began to dissipate, finally shrinking all the way back into his body. In the sky, the massive intent also began to recycle, disappearing into the sky along with Kangchon's aura. When Uncle Ma came in from outside the courtyard, Kangchon had completely recovered, and he was already in full control of the power of the 9 revolutions realm. Congratulations to Overlord for stepping into the 9 revolutions realm. My Yun family has already set up a banquet. Please go to the banquet. Uncle Ma cupped his fists and said, looking at the youth in front of him, his pale eyes were filled with awe. Kangchon looked towards Uncle Ma, A golden light flashed in his eyes as he faintly said, "I know, I will go." After saying that, he re-entered the house. For this attitude of Kang Chon's, Uncle Ma did not get angry. In his opinion, this was quite normal. After all, geniuses all had some eccentric temperament. Kang Chon, this was considered good. Inside the house, Kang Chon meditated on the ground and looked into his dantian. At this moment, the energy flowing through his entire body's meridians was golden true essence, while the original silver true essence had completely disappeared. This meant that he had stepped into a realm that others could only dream of, the 9 revolutions. Is this the true essence of the 9 revolutions realm? It's really powerful, more than 10 times more powerful than the original silver-colored true essence. No wonder Elder Dan said that the 9th revolutions and the 8th revolutions are the difference between heaven and earth. Feeling the powerful strength contained in the golden true essence within his body, Kang Chon couldn't help but show excitement in his eyes. After breaking through the 9th turning, his strength had also increased by a lot. Before he relied on the heaven breaking to be able to fight with the 7th level of the Jiden stage. Now he could completely fight with a strong Jiden stage person at the 8th level. If combined with Kang Chon's heaven escaping hand, star absorbing technique, overlord fist, and other master strokes, he now had the confidence to fight with a Jiden stage powerhouse of the 9th layer, which had to be said to be a miracle. In this cultivation world, who could fight a 9th level Jiden stage powerhouse at the foundation establishment stage? I'm afraid that Kang Chon was the only one. Once he stepped into the 9 revolutions realm, both the content of true essence and the quality of true essence reached a terrifying level, which made Kang Chon's combat power increase a lot. Generally speaking, the same amount of 9-turn true essence was twice as powerful as 8-turn true essence. An 8-turn was twice as powerful as 7-turn, and so on and so forth. The difference between 9-turn true essence and those ordinary 1-turn true essence was too great, which made Kang Chon able to cross over and defeat a Jiden stage powerhouse at just the foundation establishment stage. An ordinary 9th level Jiden stage powerhouse, in terms of strength, was simply no match for a first level 9th turn Jiden powerhouse. This was the difference in the quality of true essence was too great. This also caused some qualified cultivators at the peak of the 9th layer of foundation establishment to try to suppress their cultivation and try to raise the quality of their true essence as much as possible. Now that Kang Chon had crossed the layers of obstacles and reached the final 9 revolutions realm, it could be said that he had achieved success in one go. Kang Chon's heart was indescribably excited. "Kid, I didn't expect you to break through the 9 revolutions realm this time, and even your hegemonic intent has reached the 20% realm as well. And now the power of your self-created style of heaven breaking is even more powerful." The Dan Emperor's exclamation came from his mind. Only then did Kang Chon remember that he had forgotten an important thing. His hegemonic intent had already reached the 20% realm without him even realizing it. And this increase in power wasn't just a tiny bit, it was terrifying. One must know that the total amount of intent was only 10%. And now that Kang Chon had not even stepped into the Yuanying stage, he already possessed 20% of intent, and in the future, once he had formed a Dan, his strength was bound to be incomparably powerful. Moreover, Kang Chon's power has also increased. Now I am afraid that a knife can severely injure a strong person at the 8th level of the Jiden stage. Even if the other party is prepared, they will not be able to defend. Before this, Kang Chon's slash could only cause the 8th layer Jiden stage powerhouse to suffer some light injuries, and if the other party was prepared, they even had the strength to completely defuse this move. After all, the strength of the 8th level of the Jiden stage was still worth recognizing. At first, that Shen Tepeng was unable to use his full strength because he was in a hurry. Plus he had to take care of Shen Tepeng behind him, which was why he was seriously injured by Kang Chon's knife. Otherwise it would be impossible for Kang Chon to defeat him without exerting his full strength. However, now that Kang Chon had stepped into the 9 revolutions realm, his intent had been raised to another 20% realm, and both the quality of his true essence and the overbearing intent pressure had almost doubled. This made that heaven-breaking style even more powerful. Elder Dan, do you think that if I raise my intent to the 10% realm, at the Jidan stage, will a will be born? Kang Chon suddenly asked. He couldn't help but think about the battle at Fengdu Mountain earlier. The battle of wills between those two powerful people at the outbreathing stage. That terrifying power was still unforgettable to him. If he was able to give birth to his will at the Jidan stage, then what would be the extent of the power of that style of heaven breaking? I'm afraid that it would truly be possible to shatter the heavens and earth with a single slash. However, Emperor Dan sprayed him with cold water and scolded him with a smile. Don't think blindly. It's very hard to raise your will in the Jidan stage, and you're already considered a supreme genius if you're able to raise your will to 50% of the realm before the Yuanying stage. As for 10%, it's almost impossible to accomplish without you stepping into the Yuanying stage. Oh. Kang Chon gave a perfunctory cry. Although Emperor Dan said it was impossible, his eyes were filled with fighting spirit. It was because it was impossible that it was more challenging. Kang Chon couldn't help but give himself a goal in his heart, to comprehend will before the Yuanying stage. At this time, Kang Chon did not know that this goal was so sensationally big, that even in the entire Heavenly Tao sect, there had not been a single person who had completed it so far. And even in the history of the Flood continent, it had only been accomplished by characters from ancient legends. In the cultivation world nowadays, there was hardly anyone who could comprehend the will before the Yuanying stage. Next, Kang Chon had a good time feeling what it was like to have just stepped into the 9 revolutions realm, experiencing his sudden surge in strength before he went to the banquet along with one of the Yun family's children. When he arrived at the Yun family's hall, he was greeted by several people, and all of them were people Kang Chon was familiar with, namely Shen Tepeng, Zhou Yunji, Zhou Chanshu, the Yun family sisters, and others. Congratulations to Overlord for ascending to the 9 revolutions absolute peak, Shen Tepeng said with a smile, and then handed Kang Chon 3 extreme spirit stones. Many thanks. Kang Chon nodded his head and nonchalantly accepted the 3 extremely high-grade spirit stones. A trace of excitement flashed under his eyes. This was an extremely high-grade spirit stone ore. In the Great Tang cultivation realm, only Yuanying stage powerhouses possess them. Brother Overlord, congratulations. Zhou Yunji also offered 3 extreme spirit stones. Everything was imaginary. Only benefits were real. Receiving the 6 extreme grade spirit stones, Kang Chon's smile grew brighter and brighter. Where was the coldness that he had when they first met? The whole look of an acquaintance meeting an acquaintance. 9 extreme grade spirit stones arrived. Now that Yuanying stage puppet can be used, Kang Chon was secretly excited in his heart. This Yuanying stage puppet was able to bring out the combat power of the Yuanying stage, which was a great help to the current him. He was still very concerned about that battle contract with Li Laoqi. There was no guarantee that the Li family wouldn't play any hidden tricks. If he had a Yuanying stage puppet to protect him, he would feel much more at ease. It was because of this puppet that Kang Chon stayed here and delayed his journey to the Imperial capital. Now that the extreme spirit stone payment had been received, Kang Chon was also ready to head to the Imperial capital, and this time was considered a farewell to them. This banquet arranged by the Yun family was very lively, and all the dignitaries of Demon Yuan City had come, giving Kang Chon a lot of face. However, Kang Chon hated such scenes and just casually dealt with them for a while before excusing himself. After returning to his own small courtyard, Kang Chon couldn't wait to call Emperor Dan out and tinker with the Yuanying stage puppet. Kid, wait a minute. You haven't broken through the Jidan stage now. You can't refine this puppet. If you put the spirit stone in, the first thing it will kill is you. When Emperor Dan saw that Kang Chon was about to put the 9 superb spirit stones down into the grooves behind the puppet with the 9 of them, he was startled and said, Kang Chon was so shocked by what he heard that he almost took the spirit stones out of his hand. He slapped his head and said in a depressed manner, I almost forgot about this. What should I do? Am I going to break through the Jidan stage now? I'm not ready yet. It's not true. Although he has now been promoted to the 9 revolutions realm, but he knows that his heavenly tribulation is powerful. If he triggers the heavenly tribulation now, he's not sure that he can cross over. It's better to wait for the Emperor of the Dan to refine more pills before saying so. Kid, you can let the little monkey refine ore. It has already formed a Dan, Emperor Dan said, and lifted little gold out of the reverse heavenly cauldron.